Every progress, every milestone, every success you achieve in your business ultimately is a consequence of the business decisions you have made as an entrepreneur. But ultimately, most business owners do not make decisions in a tangible, in a methodical, as well as in a strategic manner. The usual method of making decisions is from their gut calls or from surface level emotional feelings which they get. And in this video, I'm going to teach you a step-by-step method for you to make proper, formidable, and informed business decisions. Step number one, before you make any decision, you need to be very clear what is the problem, what is the challenge, or what is the obstacle you're trying to overcome. There's always a purpose behind every decision, and one of the main reasons why people make decisions is to overcome a certain hurdle. And that is important for you to understand, because for you to connect back and see that did your decision even achieve the outcome you want, you need to be clear as to whatever it's overcoming, because ultimately you're moving from one stage to another with the decision. So you need to understand what stage you're at, what is your current situation, what is the main pain point driving the decision. So define that problem statement, understand what is the impact of that problem statement, etc., etc. So you know what exactly is the challenge you're overcoming. Which brings me to my second point. And here is where you need to know why is it so important for you to overcome this obstacle or for you to overcome this challenge. Because sometimes people just react to something which they see at a surface level, and maybe it's not that important. On the other hand, maybe it's really important, and a lot of entrepreneurs don't give it its due importance. So understanding why is this decision or why is this problem or this challenge so important to overcome will also help you to understand why is this decision so important to make. And I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, anything more than a 7 or an 8 needs immediate attention to be done in a formidable, methodical, and strategic manner, so it has a long-term impact and it doesn't crop up this solution or this problem over and over again. So your second step over here is to identify why does this problem exist and why is it so important for you to overcome this problem by making the right decision. It's not clear about what the decision is right now, but being clear why is the decision so important to make, or why does this problem need to be overcome is extremely important. The third step when it comes to making a business decision is to define what is the outcome you are looking at achieving by making this decision. And you can evaluate this even without knowing what decision you are making, because ultimately the point of making every decision is to achieve a certain outcome. Where here you got to define that outcome. You got to describe the state of how things will be when this outcome is achieved. And this needs to be tangible, something which you can measure. It needs to be like a goal. I'm not just talking about a target. I'm talking about what's the impact. How will things be in whichever context you're making this decision. That needs to be articulated in a very straightforward manner. This will tell you what's the milestone. This will tell you what's the direction you need to go in. And therefore, it's very important to tangibly articulate this. So step number 3 is to decide what is the ideal outcome of this decision in a tangible manner. Step number 4 is for you to understand, by you achieving this ideal scenario or this ideal outcome, what will this give you? What will be the impact of achieving this outcome? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? So you understand that by making this decision, wherever you land up, if it gets executed well, what will be the long-term returns on it? This will give you a lot of information as well as insight for you to make the right decision and evaluate and decide on the right option of which direction you're going to go in, because you will know what your end outcome is, what your end game is. So what is the impact of the outcome which you will achieve? Outcome is different, impact of the outcome is different. What is advantages, what is the disadvantages, so you know that this is going to give you ultimately what you want. Step number 5 is for you to start working on what are the different options available for you to make a decision on. And here I truly recommend using a lot of tools and techniques to brainstorm for you to facilitate idea generation, because all the ideas which you need to probably consider need to come out over here. By not going through the first 4 steps which I showed you earlier, the big possibility is that you'll just come up with 1 or 2 surface level options. But by doing so much of research and so much of thought going into it, the amount of options you will come up with, especially while you're brainstorming, because your parameters are pretty clear, will be quite a lot. So start generating every single option possible about what decision you can make, and these options need to be in line with the outcome you want to achieve as well as the impact the outcome will create. Number 6 is to look at every single outcome individually evaluate every single outcome, pros, cons, advantages, disadvantages, for you to really see that by you moving this option forward, will it take you to your achieved or your desired outcome at all. And you got to be able to measure to what extent is this viable enough for you to take you to your desired result, as well as to what extent is it viable for you to execute in the first place. And you got to repeat this for every single outcome. Do not make a decision as to which option you want to implement till you have evaluated every single option individually, and then compare one against the other, and then decide what is the most practical option you want to go ahead with, keeping in mind the probability of it achieving the outcome as well as the feasibility for you to execute it in the first place. So I would recommend use two parameters for you to evaluate every option. One is the probability of achieving the desired outcome, and two is feasibility or viability of you for you to execute it, for you to get there. And then choose the ideal outcome, or at least rank the ideal options in rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, so you know what are your options in which order for you to execute. Number 7 is that after you have chosen which option you would like to move ahead with, is for you to make a plan, an implementation plan. What are the tasks involved? What are the strategies you need to adopt in order for you to implement those tasks? Who's going to do those tasks? How long will it take for the task to get done? By when do you need to complete it? This needs to be a week by week or month by month or quarter by quarter, whatever is relevant, or even a day by day, an implementation plan, so there is clear direction and there is clarity of what needs to be done for the option you have chosen, so you can start mobilizing this with the right stakeholders to get the ball rolling. That is step number 7. Step number 8, which is your final step, is for you to execute and review. Obviously, you need to start executing whatever decisions and whatever plans you have activated. But what's very important is to review these executions and review the implementation which is done. And I would recommend maybe once in 2 weeks or once in a month, where you sit back with your respective stakeholders, you review the plan, you review what has been done, you review what has been not done, and check, is it still viable based on what you anticipated, and is it still on track in the same direction, taking you to your desired outcome. This will help you to come up with more insights where you can probably make changes, probably change directions, modify your plans, improvise your plans, maybe even start implementing the other options which you have chosen. Because at the end of the day, remember this: the decision is not as important as the outcome of the decision, and being flexible for you to move in the right direction is far more important than getting the decision of the right decision. Getting you to the right outcome is far more important than being stuck up on making sure that you made the right decision. Changing your decisions is absolutely not a problem, and that's why review is so important. That's why evaluating the progress you made is so important, because here's where you will reach a milestone or a juncture where you will probably modify and change your direction. So make sure in step number 8, you obviously execute, but you review your progress and ensure that you modify your approach to move in the right direction, because the direction is always more important. If you found this content useful and you learned a lot from it, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you like, share, as well as comment on my videos, and I'm going to see you soon.